Okay, looks like our staff here have everything set up for their super secret surprise. Let's find out what it is.
Hey. Hello, everyone watching Sweet Stuff Charity. I'm Deathline. I am one of the head organizers for Sweet Stuff for Charity, and I'm joined by Nate,
Hello.
one of our charity contacts over at LEAD.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. This is the second speed marathon that I've gotten to hang out. So if anyone remembers Cozython from a year ago, I love being here. So thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. So yes, this is our special secret surprise. We've never been able to actually talk to a charity contact like this, so this is really awesome for us as a growing marathon to be able to do this with you guys. So we're thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, similarly, we've never had a group randomly fundraise for us, and so we're just super stoked to be involved. So yeah, thank you.
So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the basics. What is LEAD? What does LEAD do?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit. I like to position us kind of in the mental health space. We really focus on working with young people and helping them kind of understand the value of taking care of your mental health. Originally, LEAD started 30 years ago, and I won't get into all of the details about it, but 30 years ago, it was founded as a drug and alcohol abuse prevention organization, which was a lot of the kind of scare tactic-y stuff. If you remember DARE, if you remember drugs are bad, just say no, all that stuff. But we're kind of matured now 30 years into the future. And we really realize, right, addiction is a mental health issue. Drug use, drug abuse can often be symptoms of someone coping with mental health issues or trauma or abuse or neglect. And so we are trying to, among many things, raise awareness about the importance of taking care of your own mental health, taking care of your personal relationships, taking care of your friends, and building those skills that help you make healthy decisions.
That's really awesome. We're glad that we have organizations like you guys in the world helping prevent these things happen, because I had some of these things happen around me growing up, and I wish that they could have gotten the help that they needed at the time. But yeah. Getting that stuff away from them early can definitely make a huge change in their life. Which, speaking of which, you guys have a tool that allows them to get away from that, right?
Yeah. So we have our kind of signature thing that sets us apart from kind of a lot of prevention organizations is that we created a text line, trigger warning on topics about suicide, depression, that sort of thing. But specifically kind of back in 2012, in the community that we serve, the kind of north of Chicago County, Lake County, in Illinois, there were 3 student deaths by suicide over the course of 3 months at the local high school. I wasn't with LEAD at the time. Our CEO, Andy, who's been in the Discord and been in the chat, you guys can reach out to him. He had just started working at LEAD, and community leaders came together and said, "Hey, Andy, how do we help these kids?" And he was like, "Have you talked to them?" And so Andy goes into the schools, actually talks to students, says, "What's going on?" And they kind of say, we're dealing with anxiety, depression, I mean, you name it. And we know that they're counselors on campus, but we know that if we walk into their office, that people are going to judge us. So he worked with them to kind of come up with a solution. They wanted a text line available all the time. They appreciate volunteers on text line, and I've, received services from volunteer text lines. But these students said they wanted licensed clinical counselors on the other end of that phone line. And so he built it. It didn't exist. He built it. And it's called Text for Help. Or if you were with us at Cozython, we called it Text a Tip at the time. We just did a new name, new website, all that stuff. But it's available to communities across the country. We've received text messages from all 48 of the continental United States. We're in Illinois. We're specifically in Florida, Georgia, California, and we're growing because we partner with schools in particular to kind of give them anonymous data about what students are texting in about. So if we have a group of students at one school, or a number of students are all texting in about the same concept, they're all talking about anxiety. Well, maybe that can drive school programming to help with anxiety, or students are texting about bullying. Well, maybe that can drive school programming. So we kind of have found a way to provide students what they need, but also giving valuable information to schools to help them take care of their student communities as well.
That's really awesome. From there, how did you get into this business? And is it easy for someone that's interested in this type of thing to get into something like Lead?
You've asked me my favorite question that no one ever asks me. And it's not the part that's about me. It's the part about, can people get into prevention as a field? I was lucky. When I was in 7th grade, my mom got a flyer for a youth conference. It said, drug and alcohol prevention, whatever. And she tried to sell it to me. She's like, there'll be, fun activities. And I was like, I'm going to go play video games.
Yeah.
She's like, there'll be food. And I'm like, I'm going to go play video games. She's like, there'll be girls. I was like, I'm going to go play video games. So she sent me anyway. And I had a blast of a day. Like, I really enjoyed this sort of event. And it was all prevention. It was kind of what we do, but 15 years ago. And so I got in young. I was in prevention in middle school, high school. I volunteered in college as like a youth leader, because a lot of it ends up just being like hanging out and having a good time while not doing drugs, which is kind of easy to do, especially when you've got like fun stuff around. But the field of prevention is really hard to get into. No one really knows that we exist. They all think like, become a social worker, go be a licensed counselor, like become a psychologist, work in treatment. But prevention is really, can we help people from before they need treatment to keep them from getting into treatment? Because it's often much more intensive, both emotionally and financially, to get treatment than it is to prevent something from happening in the first place. And so the reason I love this question is I kind of had this brainstorm the other day as I was talking with Maya, who unfortunately can't be here at this interview, but she's one of our prevention assistants. She's in college. She was in a prevention group in her high school. And we kind of talked about like, how hard is it actually to get into our field? Because you see a lot of folks who have been here for like 20, 30 years. And then you see like a couple of us who've been in kind of since we were young. And so we really want to create more awareness around prevention as a field, mental health prevention, substance abuse and substance use prevention. And so actually Lead's website now has a section dedicated called For Youth. And it's not like facts about drugs. It's about young people who are interested in getting into this field, how to do that. So it's brand new. We haven't put any content on it yet, but we're like starting to develop that.
That's really cool. And I hope that anyone watching, if that are at all interested, they can check out your website, learn more. You guys are going to be around all weekend, so they can reach out to you in chat and Discord.
Yep.
I think that's about, the general things. I guess the most important question for me, though, is what is your favorite video game now?
No one asks that. I mean, maybe in the speedrunning community, you all have like a single answer to that question.
Yeah, we gotta know.
But like, oh man, I can tell you what I'm playing now. I can tell you games I've liked over the years. If I had to like pick one video game specifically, most played is still probably the Sims franchise, and I haven't played Sims in 7 to 8 years. I didn't play Sims 4, but I spent so much time in middle school and high school playing it. These days, I'm playing a lot of RimWorld. I literally am like watching the stream and playing Final Fantasy 14, and I dig Ark as well. I also am spending quite a bit of time working on a meme run for Cozython. I won't say what the game is, but if you guys were at Cozython, you know the game that I'm working on.
That's very awesome. And let's end this off with any questions from you to us as a speedrun marathon. Is there anything that you guys want to know as a charity or as just a viewer from what we can provide?
Yeah, I kind of want to know what is it that you get out of speedrunning? Like, what is it that you get out of this community? What has this done for you in your life? Because I love meeting all sorts of different people in different groups and seeing what people are passionate about. And speed stuff, and the speedrunning community in general y'all are really passionate. You have to be, right? You have to spend so much effort mastering the games that you play. And I just love hearing stories about what you get out of being here. What has speedrunning done for you? And what has this community done for you?
For me personally, speedrunning is just one of the most unique hobbies that can be related to gaming. a long time ago, people like to do high score attacks, and that was just kind of the thing. But since then, over the years, it's kind of evolved to how fast can I beat a game? What is the fastest clear time that no one could ever beat again? And then, finding a game that you're really interested in and then learning it, and then, getting better at it and better at it, and then getting frustrated with it, but still learning more and getting better at it. It's almost, it's very similar to any other hobby like sports or cooking, anything that you could improve and still be frustrated with, but it's still related to gaming, and it's still, at a core, something that we enjoy to do, just play games.
I think everybody likes to have, and everyone should have, something that they can be a master in. And whenever I watch, speed running marathons, I see people who are masters at what they do. And I'm always out there like, you guys got to watch this. Like, even people who've never seen speed running before, I sell to my team all the time, like, come watch speed stuff, come watch Cozython. Like, I can watch the Olympics. I will never be in the Olympics. I have never had a skill in a physical sport that would allow me to even get close to it. But I can watch and appreciate the physical mastery that people have over their bodies and their disciplines. And I see the same thing in speed running here. And so thank you for sharing that with me. And again, I'd love to hear other people's stories in the chat about what you get out of being in this community, because I'm sure there's some really good reasons out there.
Yeah, the entry into speedrunning is open to anyone at any skill level. It's not like cooking where, you have to be worried about like potentially not having the tastes, the professional cooking, you have to eat everything. You can't dislike anything. In sports, you need to be potentially physically built for it. There's whole, Olympics, that's same type of thing. But in gaming, you can, at any skill level, whether you're good, you're not good, you've never played a game in your life, you can learn something. There are the tools to help you from ground up. So,
and the cost to entry is pretty low.
Yes, it's especially low nowadays. It used to be a lot harder to get capture cards and resources on the internet, but since the community has grown so much over the years, it's very easy to just have a Discord account, find the server that's related to the game you want to play, and then get the guides from that community. So, but yeah, I think that about wraps it up for our super secret SS4C surprise special percent. Thank you very much.
Speedrun interview.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And we're super happy to be raising money for LEAD this year.
Yeah. Thank you all for having me. Seriously, it's a blast every time I get invited to one of these things. You all are a fantastic group of people, and I can't wait to spend the weekend with you.
All right. And coming up next, we have A Hat in Time, all timepieces, all DLC, 2-player co-op by Cygnus, EA, and SWC19. So please stay tuned.